Hey booze, hey, do your blankets feel like super glue in the morning? Well sis, it's time to shake them off. Welcome to Wake Up Happy Sis, the show that jumpstarts your day with a bang. We're strolling down these self-care streets as we navigate the maze of wellness and healing. We're helping you live happy, healed, and whole. And we do it all with a hearty dose of belly laughs for good measure. Stay tuned and get ready to wake up happy, sis. All right. Hey, booze. Hey, it's your girl, Leanne Dulce, along with my co-host, Shavonne Moorer. Welcome to another fabulous episode, if I do say so myself, of the Wake Up Happy Sis Show, the place where we are rewriting the rules, we are breaking the barriers, and we are celebrating the bold, unstoppable force that is us, the beautiful Black woman. You already know we broadcast live on KCCR Cityscape Radio and a bunch of other platforms. And that's because we're here to change the narrative for our people, because we're always going to tell our stories our way. We're unapologetic about it. If that's not your flow, you can exit stage left. We'll be all right. Now listen, being a trailblazer, really, that ain't for the weak. If you know anything about that life, it ain't for the weak to be a trailblazer. It's not always pretty. It's definitely, not easy. But let me tell you, it is so worth it being that first. I know Sharonda's had some times where she's been the first. I've had some times being the first. Yes. So it's definitely worth it, because we are out here making history, opening doors and holding space in places that weren't designed for us. And today we're talking about the real cost of being first, how to push past that doubt, how to keep your vision strong and create a legacy that lasts. And we're not having this conversation by ourselves. We've got two powerhouses in the house with us today. We've got Tasha Wilson, aka the messenger of hope, an author, educator, and transformational speaker who's guiding women to reclaim their power, and Shavonne Moorer. There we go. A brand ambassador and entertainment insider who spent 20 years making moves in experiential marketing and the entertainment industry. So, as always, grab your favorite mug of whatever. This is my Bitch Be Gone mug is my favorite one, because it shakes the haters away. And let's welcome the ladies. Let's just welcome. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
We're so glad that you guys could join us today.
I'm loving the mugs.
Yeah, look. This is my favorite one. This is my favorite one.
What does it? You say it says "bitch be gone."
It says. It says. Look, wait. How do I do it? There we go. It says.
Oh my God.
Yes, it eliminates hoes. It's my don't try me. It's my don't try me spray.
Okay.
I love it.
Sometimes that's the energy you got to bring.
Yes.
Situation, and it kind of is apropos to being the first, because sometimes you got to have that energy and keep that energy when you're the first and everybody is against you, because you're going into an area that was not designed for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. TJ. Good morning, Eileen. Good morning, TJ.
Hi. Who's TJ?
TJ said, hey, beautiful Sharonda, it's your sister from another mister.
Is that Tanya? Oh, ain't seen you in a long time, lady. If that is you, I did.
Still waiting for her fan.
Oh, yes. Bring it out.
Don't start. Look, don't start. Okay. The fans are on order. Okay. The fans are on order as soon as I have them. Sharonda has seen the design for them. Okay. So as soon as I have them, then I'm going to put it out and y'all could clack with us. And then you can go to all the parties, wedding fans, like you can do all the things.
Yes.
But they're so multifunctional and help you get your point across at all times. So
it's our own personal exclamation point.
Okay.
So before we jump in, let's learn a little bit about you two. So Shavonne,
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and how you got started?
Yes. So how I got started, I was an intern at the city of Detroit.
Who? That's
And
I'm from.
okay, hello,
Hey,
sister. What up, though? What up, though?
what
Yes,
up, though?
that was my first internship. Before that, I initially started in radio and had several internships in college. My background in media started behind the scenes, and then I got into doing events. So first starting off in media and radio, and then I got into doing events for a very long time. So that's what I really love doing. I've been working as a brand ambassador and event manager for quite some time, and I'm at the stage where I really want to pivot into working for an agency full time. So that's where I'm at with it right now. I'm currently working on a project, couple of projects actually that I'm excited for. So that's what I've been doing for quite some time. And now being in this space, I really coming from behind the scenes in media, I said, okay, let me start public speaking and getting my voice out there. So I just started doing that maybe about a year or two ago.
Okay, and so you've got a lot of experience in this area. Let me just read a little bit here, and you tell me if I'm making stuff up.
Okay, okay.
I
Okay.
got my pen ready.
So I kind of feel like you are the epitome of versatility and resilience because you've worked across branding, events, entertainment. You've been in productions on BET Plus, Stars, Netflix. You're a proud member of the Boss Network and the Black Excellence Society. Like, you got a lot going on over there, sis. That's a nice little resume.
Thank you, thank you.
So let me ask you this, because with this dynamic career path that you have, what's the biggest lesson that you learned about navigating multiple industries as a Black woman?
Listen, I got a motto and I listen to it's something I stick by all the time. Never let the ball stop rolling. Regardless of what you're doing.
Okay.
I stick to that. I wake up in the morning. We may not wake up in the morning every day and say this to ourselves, but I wake up and I'm like, I gotta keep the ball rolling. Ever since I was 14, 15, my first job, I worked at a nearby movie theater. Sharonda, you remember Northwest Movie Theater on the west side? That was my first job. That was my first job. That was my first job. And ever since then, I was like, I want to go on this path. I went to Detroit School of Arts and vocal music. So art's been always a thing for me. So being able to keep in my mind, hey, if this opportunity don't work out or something is not going in the direction I want to go, I'm always applying to something, putting my hand in something. That way I know, okay, if that ain't working out, I already applied to like 6, 7 other things.
Oh my God.
I don't play no games. I don't play no games. I've always been like that.
Like you said.
Because I think a lot of people, when they go off after their goals or going after something they want to do, they steer focused on that one thing. And I'm like, you got to do other things as well. That way, your focus ain't just on that. And if you disappointed with that and it don't fall through, you
many
looking
eggs in many baskets. Yes,
exactly. So that's what I stick by.
I mean, and
I'm so proud.
and I agree, but I also agree you have to go all in on the thing that you're pursuing.
Exactly.
But don't let that one thing and oh my God, I didn't get this one thing, so now my whole life is over.
Right.
Yeah, I'm over here too.
Exactly.
Over here too. Have a little bit over here. I look, I feel the same way. So you're a member of, like I said, the Boss Network and the Black Excellence Society. So how important is it for Black women to have those kinds of professional and networking type spaces?
Yes, let me tell you. So when I was working in media as a mass control operator behind the scenes, at that time I'm like, I really want to connect with other organizations, other people within the industry. And it was kind of hard to really do that because there was no platforms out there. At that time I was in this organization called Women in Entertainment Women in Entertainment Network. And with that platform, I was able to go to Harlem, New York for an award ceremony. Who were they honoring that year? They were honoring, Roxy was there, Faith Evans. I got a chance to
Mm,
meet Faith Evans.
yeah.
Um, it was quite a few other, Misha Halton. Uh, she's the icon of all icons when it comes to fashion. And that was one avenue that allowed me to be like, okay, what other platforms or other avenues I can go into to focus on. So now I'm with the Boss Network. I've heard about them maybe a couple of years afterwards,
Mhm.
and with them I was able to be a blogger temporarily for their website. So I have a couple of blogs on there, and then and I'm currently with other organizations that they give me that community, because sometimes we always want that community, other people that
Yeah.
we can relate to. Especially me being in experiential marketing, I've run into so many people in my industry, but I'm like, I want somebody that I can talk to that, hey, may have some advice or can give
Mm,
me some pointers on certain things. So I'm really big on that because, like I said, for a very long time, when I wasn't able to find that one organization, it's like a needle in a haystack trying to find stuff.
yes. Yes. And to me, that is one of the major benefits of making sure we are connecting and networking within our industry. Right.
Mhm.
And finding, especially for me, I find it important to find groups of Black women who are in the same industry so that they have an understanding of the things that I've gone through or what I may go through. Right. I think that's very important. So thank you and welcome for being here. Tasha, hey, how you doing over there?
Yes, lovely locks.
Oh, thank you. Y'all, listen, my day to day never looks the same. By day, I am a professor and a student conduct officer. And then around the clock, I'm an international bestselling author and speaker. So I try to squeeze in sleep when I
I'm just
can.
gonna keep this out. I'm just gonna keep
Come
it
on
out.
Just keep
now.
it out, Sharonda. Just keep it out. You know, you're gonna be clacking with these. Look, but you know what? Let me say, okay, don't be over there like I used to be in my life, and I can sleep when I'm dead because you don't do that.
Right, right.
Find you
And
some,
that's
find you some sleep, Tasha.
yes, I am learning that balance now
Good.
because, and not even to jump right into it, but like being a trailblazer, I'm not only a trailblazer like in my personal life when it comes to my family, but also professionally. And I realized the connection that what I do personally, I've reached out for like inaugural roles professionally because when you're accustomed to being a blueprint, that's all you know.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes that pressure that comes with
Oh,
being a
come on,
blueprint,
come on, come on now.
it's not easy. Like, for me, I'm the first in my family to get a college degree beyond a bachelor's level. And
Yes,
so
ma'am.
it wasn't until present day I still hold that title, on
Yeah.
both sides. And it wasn't until one of my cousins had said to me, "You don't realize the impact that you're making just by being you." And so he gave me my
Mhm.
flowers. He was just like, people don't understand the weight that comes with it. They just think because you've done it, it seems easy, but they don't really understand what you had to go through behind closed doors just to forge a path that nobody had created before you. And
Man,
so for me, I am learning that as long as I show up, and as long as I'm present, and as long as I'm in alignment with the things that are for me, the opportunities will always come. And so becoming an author and speaker definitely wasn't on my radar. It was just something that really fell in my lap. And literally everything that I've accomplished in the marketplace fell in my lap. And I'm not saying that to make it seem like, it's been easy, but it's like when you are being your most authentic self, people are attracted to it. They're not attracted to the perfectionism, they're not attracted to the performative nature. But when they see that you actually connect with the story that you're telling and you're being yourself, they want in. And so that's literally how my life has been set up. Like, I've received awards. I've received publishing rights, like to the point that I'm now writing a periodical journals for like higher education
Come
institutions.
on, ma'am. Come
Yes.
on,
You
man.
know, so people gotta, use me as a citation.
Okay.
That's
And
but look, when you said
Not you publishing and
that's
people
a that's
publishing
a
because
big
of you.
thing. That's a big thing
Mm-hmm.
when people are using you as the citation, baby. That's not a lot of people. I don't think people understand
hmm
the impact of what you
hmm
just said. Okay, when students, other professionals, other
The whole
professors, whatever,
story.
are doing research, doctoral candidates doing research and all this, and
hmm
they come across her publications and they are using her expertise,
Yeah,
hmm
that puts her up here, baby. That's up here.
yeah, yeah.
That's up here. That's up here. That's way up here.
Not
Okay.
only are you
So
Black Girl Magic, but you a whole damn literary source up in here.
Okay.
Ma'am,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Being
come
cited
on.
and shit. I love it.
Come
So
on, ma'am. Oh
so
my
let
God.
me
I
ask
don't know
you
if I'm
this,
gonna be able to be
Tasha.
okay with all this Black Girl Magic in this bad boy.
I mean,
I don't know.
this is what we
And
do
my whole
every week,
girl over
though.
there and stuff. I don't know if I'm
This is
gonna
what we
be.
do every week. This is what we do every week. We bring all the Black girl magic. But let me ask you this, Tasha. You call yourself the messenger of hope. Now,
hmm
what was a defining moment in your life that kind of made you step into that role? And how did you know that that was your purpose?
So many moments in my life, but I think what really did it for me when I was just like, all right, enough is enough. I want to say it was probably a year after I got out of a really bad relationship, and I realized that the cycles that I entertained were generational.
Mm,
And so, staying in an environment where you don't need to be in, entertaining men that really serve no purpose or were beneficial to you. And I realized the root of it came from what was modeled. And so it was like I'm excelling outwardly, but inwardly, I'm in shambles. And I didn't like that feeling. I didn't want to walk around being a poser or being Jekyll Hyde, somebody that I knew I wasn't even created to be. And I think with us as women, especially Black women, we are taught to fight through and endure and just put up with so much stuff that the moment we find our voice and we own it and we celebrate it, everybody got a problem, everybody's offended. And so for me, I'm like, I can't be the messenger of hope to everybody else if I'm not even receiving that inwardly. And so that was my aha moment. Like, I've always been one that was singled out in my family. Like, everyone always noticed that I was different. They always noticed that I never went along with the crowd. And so
Mm.
when I realized that I took on the burden and responsibility of the women generationally in my family, I knew it had to stop with me. I was like,
Come
absolutely
on.
not. So
Come
the
on.
way that I set boundaries in my career, the way I set boundaries in the marketplace, that also means I need to set boundaries in my personal life
yes,
as well. So what I require, it needs to be reciprocated.
yes. And that
Oh,
first boundary gotta always be with yourself.
yeah.
hmm
Hey, look, we talk about boundaries every single show. It don't matter what the topic is. It don't
hmm
matter what the topic is. We talk about at some point we're gonna come around to boundaries,
Yeah.
right?
Let me tell you
Because
something.
we have to have them, and that's how. Especially it's especially important when you are a trailblazer, when you are one of the first, one
hmm
the only, right?
hmm
When you
hmm
are one of those people that's leading the charge, especially when you've chosen
Yeah.
to walk that walk, not like you've been thrust into it, but you've
Mm.
chosen to walk that walk. You have to set those boundaries early, and you have to
Mhm.
set them, and you have to stand in that business, because everybody else, once, like you said, once you start doing that thing and you're setting those boundaries, people gonna be pissed off.
Oh,
hmm
They're gonna be real mad. They're gonna be big
oh.
mad because they
hmm
feel entitled to your time, to your energy, to your
The
essence.
butt hurt is real, ma'am.
Oh yeah. And so if you don't have those boundaries with yourself, all you're doing is giving people recommendations on how to treat you.
Oh,
Exactly.
and
hmm
the bringer of hope, ma'am. Let me tell you, if I have to be the villain in your story, you gonna be the clown in mine. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hold on, clacking myself. Hold on for a second.
Clack yourself, friend. Well, think
Yep.
about it. In order to be the villain, tell them what you did for me to be the villain.
Right.
People don't like to take accountability and ownership of their part in their downfall.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, most time people don't even want to play a role in their own saving.
Right.
They want somebody to save you. Nobody's coming.
We are our saviors. Nobody else is coming. It's
coming.
us.
Especially when you're walking that lonely road. There's nobody else who's done it before, or maybe one person who's done it before. There's nobody to save you. You have to walk that road, even though you're scared, even though you're tired, because unfortunately, you do carry the weight of a people on your back when you are that trailblazer, right? That's what it is. So let me ask you this, right? You've been recognized for your activism and your leadership. What's been one of the hardest, maybe yet most rewarding moments on your journey so far?
Oh, I'm gonna talk about something that recently happened. I want to say one of the hardest is to be recognized as human. I think when people see that you're managing and you're juggling as a trailblazer and you're balancing, they dehumanize who you are because they kind of assimilate you with the brand that you have, right? And so when people meet me naturally, they're like, okay, you laid back, you real low. Like, and it's one of those things that even though organically I'm someone who's real chill, my presence is so loud. And it's like when I walk in rooms, people notice. I don't even have to, say
Put the air
anything, but
out. Put all the air out.
Okay.
Yes,
that
that
it
energy.
just comes with the cost of being a trailblazer, right? It just kind of comes with that. Like when you're chosen, your presence and your essence is known. It ain't subtle. And so I think when people just look at what I do and how I show up, then the challenge is that, oh, she don't deal with real stuff, she don't got anything going on,
Mhm.
they kind of look at you as superwoman, and I'm like, listen,
Oh
I
Lord.
don't, I don't, I don't expire that cape. Let me be Lois Lane at the end of the day. Let me expire that cape. Like y'all got it.
Yeah,
Because if the cape means trauma, if the cape means burning, if the cape means sitting up here being disgruntled, I don't want it because I'm super
right.
without the super cape. I'm good. So,
Come
that's
on. Come
that's a
on.
challenge within itself. But I will say one of the highlights are the people that I've met. I've met a lot of great people who I don't even personally know, who I may never see in person ever again. But they're the ones who see me, and that makes a difference. They don't want anything from me, but they just see me and they respect what I do and who I am. So that for me is a highlight every time when it's somebody who don't even really know me, but just from one interaction, they
Yeah.
can vouch for my character. Because at the end of the day, character is what sustains your legacy, not the other stuff that we do.
Yes.
Come on, Tasha.
Yes.
Come
Well,
on. Come on.
we've had, I mean, if for those of you who are new around here, um, this show brings out all the real, the raw, the emotion. We've had laughter, we've had full on breakdowns, we've had people who have said that our word and our guests and stuff have actually literally saved their life, right? So we're doing something in a space that it requires a level of you
Mhm.
that puts you to the point of exhaustion sometimes. And this is for all of us, right? Because being the first, it's going to come with that emotional exhaustion, right? Because like I said, you're not just carrying your own dream. You're carrying the weight of representation,
Yeah.
the weight of expectations, and proving that you belong in a space that was not designed for us, sometimes does not want us,
Mm.
tries very hard to exclude us.
Hmm.
And so this show is about changing that narrative. It's about giving voice to us. So you very rarely will you see people of other ethnicities on this show. Now we're inclusive. I will let you on the show if I feel that you're applicable to the topic. But that's generally because I don't have somebody else who maybe came for that space. That's really the way to kind of get in. Because I wanted this space to be unapologetically for Black women. I wanted to be that safe haven, that space where look at all this Black excellence in the room. Right
Yes.
You
now,
see it. You see it.
this is not something that we get to see enough,
Right.
right? This is not what we get to see enough. And when you start succeeding, that immediately puts a target on your back,
Mhm.
right? Immediately, when you're in the public eye, when you're a leader, it
But
makes you more vulnerable to scrutiny, and they're going to scrutinize everything you do. Go ahead, Sharonda.
Mhm.
but the thing about it is being trailblazers. I'm an Army veteran, so when we're doing land navigation, we're actually in the woods breaking brush because there's not an established trail. There's cuts, bruises, snags. I mean, you still, going forward in this doggone trail because the road less traveled is not the one that everybody's on, that everybody's walking in each other's footprints. No, the road less traveled is the one that hasn't been established yet because I haven't created it yet.
Mhm.
People are walking in your
I'm here.
footprint.
That's right. I'm
They're
keeping them
your
bitches
footprint.
behind me. Do you hear me? You're gonna follow in my footsteps because what I'm doing has never been done before. Like in my family, I am the one with the double degrees and doing things but the way that you win at this thing, it's the doing what other people are not willing to do.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Because your blessing is always going to be on the outside of your comfort zone. Each and every time. It's never inside your comfort zone because
No.
it doesn't require you to change.
And
Mhm.
stretch and
If
grow.
nothing changes, nothing changes. Did you hear me?
Mhm.
People need to listen
If
to that.
you don't change, nothing changes. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it and make it a part of your life because the only certainty is that everything is uncertain except for God, right?
Mhm.
So let me
Yeah.
ask you all this. Let me ask you all this, right? So a lot of people who are trailblazers, they really talk about experiencing imposter syndrome. Now, I talk about it all the time on here. That feeling that you don't belong, that you're a poser, like you said, Tasha. You don't want to be that poser. Everybody knows my inner hater's name is Ricky Bobby. I gave a name to him so I could tell him to shut the hell up sometimes. But what advice would you have for women who are battling with their own inner Ricky Bobby? And either one of y'all can answer.
Okay.
You
Well,
gotta silence that negative thoughts in your mind. You gotta
yes.
keep your mind focused.
Yes.
I mean, because when you lingering on the those, oh, I'm not good enough, or I shouldn't be doing this, or do I need to do that? Do I need to do this? Like when you keep your mind, and that's a cliche thing to say, because like, oh, stay positive. No, like literally, you can't be surrounded in those negative
Mhm.
thoughts. Like, don't let negative thoughts consume you. Basically,
All that. Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Yes. What about you, Tasha? Any advice?
I would say don't be your own limitation. Sometimes it's so easy to project excuses that we don't
Mhm.
understand how they shape our identity. And so, if you're willing to take the risk, go for it. Don't be the person that gets in your own way. Because hey, I got experience doing that and it didn't serve a purpose for anyone, not myself. All it did was made me frustrated and upset. And
Right.
so it's like if you really want to move forward, you got to do something that you've never done before. And that really starts with changing your mindset and changing your
Come
language.
on, come on, come on, come on.
So yeah,
Right.
don't be your own limitation. And then also be mindful of who you surround yourself with and discern who you tell stuff to, because
that's
you
it.
already know when you are in motion, everyone can't come. When you are in motion, everybody don't need to know what's going on. And so just be very mindful of who you connect yourself with. And I always say aspire to be around the people who are already doing what you want to do.
That part.
Yes,
Uh,
I definitely agree with that. I think, especially when you are trying to do something new that nobody else has ever done, the first thing you got to do is realize you don't have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't never been done before. So what you're doing is great already in and of itself.
Yeah.
You're changing the world, you're changing lives in and of itself. So let go of that feeling of needing to be perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
Perfectionism, yeah, it's a survival tool, but it's also a big ass trap so that you don't launch, so that you don't move forward, so that you let fear continue to run what you're doing. Being a trailblazer means being scared and doing it anyway.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We
Courage. It means
we have
having
so
real
many.
courage.
Yep. We have so many great guests on this show. Eileen is one of our audience members, and a couple of weeks ago, she said a healed person cannot be around broken people.
So
That
true.
means you got to get yourself out of the habit of the accessibility of those that aren't trying to do anything with their life and stuff.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
You only
Yeah.
need
People.
a quantity of quality people you can count on one hand.
Mm-hmm.
And those are going to be the ones that put wind in your sails. Those
Yeah.
are going to be the ones that are always lifting you up. No jealousy, no
Mm-hmm.
envy. They just want to see that you are doing great and just pushing you forward and stuff. Please.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody can't go. There's another
Mm-hmm.
thing we had. Everybody cannot go because once you ascend, when you change, everybody else has changed, right? So when you
Mm-hmm.
change, they might want to, get on the bell. Like, damn, they over there doing some shit. I want a piece of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if they're not, and all they got to tell you is negativity from the
Mm-hmm.
depths of hell, you
Mm-hmm.
gotta let them go. You gotta let them go
Well, but
because
I think that goes with what Tasha was saying about you have to be very mindful of who you share your dreams with. The dream
yes,
was given to you for a reason,
yes,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're so quick to try and tell everybody. People who are not given the vision that you get cannot see. Let me say that
Right.
again. If they were not given the vision, they cannot see. So and if they're of a certain age sometimes and they've been through things, they think their negativity is a way of them protecting you
Mm-hmm.
from the unknown, from the fear of that you're not going to make it, you're going to fail. There's no such thing as failure. It's called a
Hmm.
challenge, it's called a stumble, but I'm about to get
Yes.
up, get back on that horse, and I'm going to keep going.
mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Failure, to me, failure means you stop trying.
Exactly.
that means you
That means you
stay
stop
down
trying.
there.
That's the only right. That's the only way. You got
Mm-hmm.
knocked down and you stayed the hell on the ground. That to me is failure. Because if I
Mm-hmm.
get up and realize, okay, maybe this isn't the vision anymore, the vision is now veered over here. It's okay. It
Mm-hmm.
don't mean we keep beating a dead horse. Because
Right.
sometimes we're so focused. And I think
Mm-hmm.
Shavonne mentioned this before. We got blinders on so much over on this one little thing
Mm,
that if you know anything about blinders, you can't see what's next to you.
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're missing out on all the other things because you're so focused on this one path
Mm-hmm.
that you so focused on the path that you don't see that other golden road right there. And that might be your trailblazing, is that golden path to the right, but you so stuck over here.
Mm-hmm.
It's your
And
own
you
blessings.
know, and sometimes that's fear that's keeping us right here
Mm-hmm.
because it's comfortable. It's comfortable.
Exactly.
I know this. It's okay that I've been launching this business for 12 years and I ain't got it done yet.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a trailblazer, you gotta embrace the imperfections. You've got to move. You actually have to move. You actually have to do something. Launch something. Write the book. Start the course. Whatever. Do
Mm-hmm.
the research. You can't be a trailblazer if you're sitting still.
Right.
I just said, move
You just,
outside of your comfort zone.
and it's going to come with sacrifice. You have to be a trailblazer. You also have to be willing to sacrifice.
Yes.
You have to know that that means you may not be able to go out with your friends to brunch every Sunday.
Okay.
You may have to work evenings after you come home from your job,
Mm-hmm.
right? You may have to learn how to really schedule and manage your time
Mm-hmm.
so that, like Tasha said, that she finds time, she gets her time in to sleep, because everything is constantly shifting. If you think about the world that we have now, there's a lot of trailblazing that's about to happen because
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to move us back
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of years at this point. And if we're not willing to be on the front lines, and like Sharonda said, there might be a couple of bruises, you might get some scrapes and scratches,
They'll heal.
Yes.
but we have to be the ones to get out on that front line like our forefathers and foremothers did for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got a whole bunch of people on our shoulders that's coming up, looking at us, looking to us,
Yep.
right? Because that's the only way we're going to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
That's the only way. And to me, that's what trailblazing is. It's about leaving a legacy. It's about opening doors for other little Black girls, little Black boys, to
Mm-hmm.
know that they can do it too. Hell, whoever thought we'd have a Black president,
Right. Right.
right?
Yep.
Whoever thought that we would have a Black president?
That's a great person to emulate. Some people actually need to see it to be it. Other people are self-propelled, and I'm gonna be that one.
Yeah.
You see? So I wasn't motivated by it. Was great to have representation where I was going, but it wasn't needed. Because somebody gotta be first.
Yeah, somebody gotta
And
say yes and go do it.
I am somebody.
And you know what? I noticed a commonality with Trailblazers too is that we know a lot of people, but we have very few friends.
Yes.
And it's like
Yes.
Everybody ain't your friend.
yeah. And people used to make it a stigma like it was a bad thing, but to be quite honest, no, it's a blessing because everyone can't be trusted with your intimacy or vulnerability. And so I'm like,
Man.
look, I call them my starting five, right? Just like in basketball, everybody got a position.
Yeah.
Everybody already know what it is. And it's just so funny because when you think of people who are surrounded by you and you don't necessarily have a relationship with them, they just attached to the stuff that you do. They just want to be
That's it.
seen. They just want to be like, oh, I know her, but you don't though. You don't really know me. You just see what I'm putting out, or you just see what everyone is saying about me. And those are the people you gotta be careful with because I call them energy vampires. They just want something, some level of
Oh, come
access
on.
that they don't deserve.
Come on. Come on.
Yes. And look, for those, look, the energy vampire thing is very, very real.
Yes.
Especially when you have a light and an energy and a presence about you. Some people literally are only in that space to take from that, right? If you ever had a person who, as soon as you see their number on the phone, you're like, oh my God.
Get my nerves
Right? And it's already causing you stress, anxiety, trauma, just seeing their name. That's because that person is likely an energy vampire. And if you're an empath like me, you're pulling everybody's energy already.
Yeah.
You have to know how to block that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to absorb everybody's energy. You do not have to allow them to suck of your energy.
Mm-hmm.
We have the choice. And so that's why discernment and being very calculated and intentional about who we let into our lives and who we let know about our plans, right? Success, to me, that road to success should be quiet as hell.
Yes.
Everybody
Yes.
don't have to know. The right hand don't know what the left hand doing over here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's how quiet we be over here in these streets sometimes, right? Everybody don't need to know because everybody doesn't mean you well. Some of the people in your circle hate you.
Yes.
They hate you because they can't be you. They hate you
Mm-hmm.
because you are the trailblazer. You are the blueprint. You are the courageous one that's going to go out, speak up, do the thing that they may have always wanted to do, that they are scared to step out of that comfort zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to be that one, and you got to let 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 go
Mm-hmm.
because the journey
Yeah.
was yours alone to take. And we always want to take somebody with us.
You remember that
Right.
saying, your cutoff game got to be strong.
Yes.
Oh, come
Strong.
Yes.
on, the room home,
Come on
girl.
now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
to me, even when you're talking about, because we still have doubts,
Mm-hmm.
there's nobody, even the person. Look, Eileen gave you a little fan clack too. Okay,
Ah,
she gave you a little fan clack too. Look,
Yes, Eileen.
Eileen said you, you get it.
Don't forget about
Mm-hmm.
TJ. She
But
be dropping them too.
yeah, doubt sometimes disguises itself as intuition, right?
yes.
And
Mm.
you have to be able to discern the two. Is it
Mm-hmm.
intuition or is it fear?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
Right? Is it intuition or is it fear?
How do you distinguish the two? Because sometimes I think my intuition, example, I had an opportunity that I was going to get into recently. And at first I was excited about it. It was to be a manager. I ain't gonna say the actual title, but it was to be a manager for this project. At first I was excited about it, looked at the contract, and I was like, I don't know. Long story short, I believe intuition, it targets you more than once. Fear gives you doubt. Because let me tell you, my intuition had to be right. I was getting emails from this individual saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. It's a delay for this. Or I apologize. We can get you set up." I said, I was wondering why I didn't want to do this opportunity.
Well, I think for me,
Mm-hmm.
right, intuition is more like a deep knowing that's coming from
Mm-hmm.
your heart,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not fear based, but it's like that little voice in your head that just keeps whispering to you things that really feel more aligned with your true self,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Mm-hmm.
when you meet somebody and you get that energy,
Mm-hmm.
that's not a good person.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fear based because they've done nothing to you for you to fear them,
Right.
right? There's been
Mm-hmm.
nothing to interfere. It's all their energy. It's an intuition in the way they walk, in the way they talk, the way you see them interact with other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not a fear thing. That's just a deep knowing thing, right? That's what I think that intuition is.
And sometimes you can get that right away when you
Yeah.
interact with certain people.
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't know if this is gonna work out.
Mm-hmm.
You get that. Sometimes you don't. It takes some time. It takes some time for some people, but sometimes you can get that right away from some folks.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. And then to me, that doubt, on the other hand,
Mm-hmm.
that's that anxious energy, right?
Yeah.
That's that loud voice is screaming at you, run, 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 versus that whisper that's like, watch this.
Yeah.
Something ain't right about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is intuition. Fear is run. This is going to hurt. This is whatever, right? Because it's
Mm-hmm.
fueled by fear and uncertainty. So we have to look at self and you kind of
Mm-hmm.
have to do an assessment. What when you are anxious and you have doubt and fear, there's usually physiological things that are happening too. If
Yeah.
I know something is fear-based with me, my gut is always
Mhm.
going to start hurting, right?
Mhm.
There's certain things, right?
Wow.
You get anxious, you get nervous, people get sweaty palms, whatever. That's not intuition. That's fear. That's doubt,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right? To me, I think that's the difference.
Mhm.
And how do you do? So then once we've decided it's one or the other, how do you deal with it? Because I think
Mhm.
how you deal with it has to be different based off of whether it's intuition or whether it's doubt.
That's so true. Mhm.
Mhm. I think of when I think of the difference, I think about um it's this meme that people always say when they talk about insecurities are loud and confidence is more quiet. That's how I
Mm.
distinguish the two, because fear is an insecurity. And so of course it's going to be loud. Of course it's going to be in your face because it's trying to prevent you from doing something that you deserve to do. And that's another thing, because being a trailblazer, you deserve to be one. A lot of times we be like,
Okay.
why me? Why not you? You know?
Okay.
So,
Period.
All of that.
um,
Period. Why not?
so yeah.
Somebody got to
So
be first.
somebody, right? And so that's why I think for me that helps me determine the two between intuition, because intuition is very subtle. And like you said, it'll say, watch this, or don't skip over what you've noticed, right? Kind of put that in your back pocket and see. But like fear is just immediately, no, don't do this, don't do that. And it's just like, and there's no justification or ruling as to why you shouldn't. So it's like
Exactly.
insecurities, like people who are very insecure are super loud because they're
Mm.
projecting, and they don't
Mhm.
even know why they're insecure standing next to you.
Mhm.
They
Who
don't
in
know
the
why
world
they don't
teaching
like
you
you.
talking about in this day and age?
No, that happens more than people think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here, when somebody is intimidated by you,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
one, that ain't your fault. Ain't your fault, ain't your problem. Not my
Nope.
money, not
Mm-mm.
my show. I'm not going to
Listen.
dim my light to make you feel better, right?
Mm-mm.
Right.
That is their issue. And I think sometimes we get so used to feeling like we have to change who we are to make other people feel comfortable, to
Yeah.
be less intimidating.
You
If
Mm-hmm.
better
you're
keep being yourself so
intimidated
you can dim your
by
light.
my energy, by what I've brought to the table, step your game up.
Hello.
Mhm. Mhm.
Step your game up, because I'm never going to step my game down. Baby,
Okay.
I'm pushing the
That
gas all
part.
the way. I'm pushing the gas all the way. I realized, like you, Tasha, I was one of those people that I just didn't really kind of fit in. You know,
Yeah.
I knew all of the popular kids. We all grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
I knew all the popular kids. I hung out with the weirdest people. Those were
Mm-hmm.
people that I've always gravitated towards.
Mm-hmm.
People that you would consider the weird nerds, right? The super smart genius level, whatever one. I had one friend who hacked into he was when we was in high school. Well, he was in college. We was in college age. He hacked into the Pentagon. I had
Use your powers for the good, sir.
super good.
Listen.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Right? But those were the people that I hung around and I gravitated towards. And the
Mm-hmm.
older I got, the more I realized that I spent so much of my time trying to fit in
Mm-hmm.
a mold that was never built for me.
Mm.
Yes.
And I tell people all the time, why do you want to fit in when you were born to
To
stand out?
stand
Right.
out. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God.
I was
Mm-hmm.
born to stand out. I've had purple hair. Now, this is a lot of hair for me right now. I need to normally I'm fully bald, right? That in and of itself is not easy shit to walk in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy path to walk,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I've always marched to the beat of my own drum.
Yeah.
Got in
I
trouble
hear
for it.
that.
So if you're a trailblazer, as a kid, you probably got in trouble for a lot of the shit you did because you just weren't like everybody else.
Mhm.
Right.
Just know that that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay as long as you're not hurting yourself and hurting other people. Be you, be different, be
Right.
unapologetic about it.
Yes.
Love what you see when you look in the mirror. Doesn't mean we
That's
don't,
Yes.
that right.
it doesn't mean we don't try and make it better,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to change who I am to make someone else more comfortable.
Right.
I'm going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to be that trailblazer. I'm going to be that black girl in the business, in the purple business suit. It might be salmon color. You don't know. You're not going to tell me, oh, you can only wear a dark. I was meant to stand out. Because when you see me up there, you see that salmon, that purple, that bright ass orange.
Listen.
Maybe I'm the beacon, I'm the light telling you where to go.
Eileen brought up a good point about the recruiter knocking down her door, but then it slowed down when she started asking questions. There's your sign right there.
There you go.
Boom. Okay, please.
Yeah. But her intuition said, hey, you doing a lot over here. Let me ask more questions. Let me ask more questions.
The shortfall on the recruiter side. Like, he's so rushing to get her in. But hold on for a second. Let's pump these brakes right quick. I got a couple of questions for you. And then he
probably a scam, because it's
exactly
right.
I get messaged by recruiters left and right, and I don't have nowhere on none of my LinkedIn or nowhere that I'm looking for a job, because I ain't.
Thank you.
Right. Even in retirement, I'm still getting these messages.
I be thinking I should be a recruiter, because sometimes they be just sending messages like, I don't work in engineering. I'm not no doctor, and they be like, oh, I think this will fit you. You know what? I need your job because you're doing this wrong.
Exactly.
Let me help you. Let me help you do this better.
Yes, my goodness.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this. So when fear does creep in, is there a mindset shift, a ritual thing that you do to kind of help recenter and reground yourself?
Prayer comes in for me. If
Yeah.
fear is trying to just jump on my back like the monkey it is, I have to go to my place to get the bitch knocked off, you know, because it's like, no, you're doing this, you put your foot on this path. Yes, it's scary, but you still going through it and stuff, because how else are you gonna finish it? Like, for instance, I went to Tuskegee. It got hard as hell. But I called Arif, that's my husband. I was like, I don't know what to do. And so he gave me a word and was like, hey, you can't retain every single thing inside your head. You're going to have to do a brain dump after this test so you can front load more things and stuff. So you find yourself a person that has more wisdom than you, because he had already graduated at that point. So find yourself in spaces with people that's been there and done that, so you're not reinventing the wheel. Because they have valuable insight that is really great for you that you're going to miss if you're trying to reinvent the wheel and do it yourself all over again. Don't do that.
Yeah.
We'll talk to somebody about it. Upper and to the side. And then the insight that you need.
Yeah.
And to add to that, I always ask, like, why am I experiencing this fear? Where is it coming from? Like, what's the root cause of it? And then that's when the who comes in. Who can I tangibly speak with that has the wisdom that I need to get me over this fear? So I do that. So I also pray, but then I also ask, like, who is it that I can really connect with? So, you know, someone who
it's heard all this clacking.
someone who's going to acknowledge where you are but don't judge you for it. And then someone who also holds you accountable while you're trying to overcome that fear too.
Excellent.
And it might not be somebody that's in the same area, because if you are trailblazing, if you are really trailblazing, there isn't somebody who can tell you what the next logical step should be. But there's somebody who's trailblazed their own path over here. Right. So don't think you have to only look for advice and mentorship from somebody who's physically done the thing. You might be the one that is set to be someone else's mentor, because you are trailblazing a new path. You are the first Black woman to be da 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 da. There's nobody else that can help you being that first Black woman to do that. You might be the first person to do it, period. Find somebody else who's trailblazed a path on their own right to help you get past the fear. And I definitely agree with getting to the root of it. I like to tell myself, and I'll write out, I've realized in recent years, that I'm probably a little more neurodivergent than I thought, because we didn't have neurodivergent coming up when I was young. We didn't have those terms, right? But as I look and process how I process, and I realize I'm probably a little more neurodivergent than others. But I also know that that's helped me find people. I have a knack for connecting people, for being connected with good people. I met Shavonne. That's how she became the host of the show. That's how when I had a magazine, I got most of my writers just out of flukes, out of chance meetings of things, blah, blah, blah. So don't be scared to reach out outside of that comfort zone, outside of your industry, outside of your knowledge area, because understanding, knowledge, and wisdom comes from all over. All over.
I have a saying, just do it anyway. I try not to second guess myself,
There you
because
go.
there's things we all go through fear, and I was afraid to do certain things recently, and I said, and I always, think of that saying that people say, just do it anyway. Because the reason why I say you second guess yourself, you be thinking like, well, they're gonna be doing this, and it's gonna be this, it's gonna be this way. You be thinking too much of what's gonna happen with that project, or what your goal is you're trying to go to, when you just do it anyway.
Yes, I love that. And one of the things I think helps too for me is realizing that my success is not just a personal thing. It is collective, right? When I'm, especially as a trailblazer in any area, it's never just personal. It's always going to be collective, because you got people coming behind you that are waiting for you to blaze that trail, right? And realizing that that impact that you leave behind, that trail, like Sharonda said, she cleared all the brush. That to me is going to matter more than all the accolades and the awards.
Yes.
To know that I've changed lives, that I've saved lives, that I have personally helped 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, whatever that number is. That impact, because it's not just those people. What we have to realize is every person you touch might be like touching 10 other people. Because what you taught them and what you gave them, they're giving to somebody else who's giving to somebody else.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's the goal. So your impact, although it's like I've worked with 100 women, you've probably impacted thousands. And you don't even know it. So give me that over. I don't care about the awards. I don't care about the awards and the accolades. You ain't got to put me in the video. I ain't like Puffy and them, they're all up in the video. Right? And then also mentor people and find yourself a mentor. Right? Once you break that barrier, once you have blazed that trail, it is your duty.
Absolutely.
To help somebody else. Reach back and pull somebody else up.
Absolutely.
We can't do this shit alone. And we get so used to, I think in the Black community, they've done such a great job of pitting us one against the next, that you think you can't bring the next person up behind you because they're going to get more than you got. I want students who I taught to surpass me.
Yes.
Right? I want that. That means I did something right. When you can take what I gave and you can dissect it, personalize it, and then improve upon it for the next person, maybe that to me is winning right there. That's winning, because now my stuff has taken on a whole different form. That's like recipes.
Yeah.
How many of us, look, you follow that recipe the first time, except for the seasonings, because we don't trust they seasonings.
Okay.
But I'm going to follow the recipe the first time, mostly. But after that, oh, baby, it's open season.
I don't even follow it the first time. I'm seeing stuff. No, you should do it this way first.
Well, that's what I said, because there's always things. Once you know how to cook or you know how to do a certain thing. But let's say you blazing this past and you writing the recipe. you're writing the recipe that somebody else is going to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Your legacy is being written right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, what do we do? How do we, as trailblazers, reach for the next level of trailblazers? Because that's what we have to be thinking about. How do I make it so that that next little black girl, little black boy sees that he can do anything because he sees us? So, now time for us to wrap up. So, why don't you ladies, we're going to start with you, Shavonne, give us your final thought and then tell people how they can connect with you.
Hey, you gotta stay focused. Keep blazing trails like we all do, and find your path that you can stick to, whatever goals you have in mind. Also, the way to connect with me is through Instagram, Shavonne So Savvy, and just contact me there. Then we can reach out. I can tell you more about me and what projects I have going on.
Awesome. Awesome. And Tasha, do you have any final words and how people can connect with you?
Yeah. So, we've talked about the ups and downs that come with trailblazing. So it may not be easy, but it's so necessary. You are the solution to the problem that the world needs to hear.
Yes.
So, don't allow fear, don't allow anything, doubt, lack of whatever, fill in the blank, prevent you from being the trailblazer that you've always been destined to be. You can reach me on Instagram, life Natasha W underscore. I'm always there. So, and I actually respond to DMs. I'm not that person. I actually respond. Or if you just kind of want to see what else I got going on, you can go to my website, www.lifenatashaw.com.
Is it like that? Or did I not do it right?
Oh, you did it right. Perfect.
Fabulous. All right, Sharonda. Oh,
Everybody.
I didn't even know Paulette. Why you
Hey,
think
lady.
Paulette was down there?
Hey, Paulette.
I didn't see you come in, Paulette.
I want to say that everyone has been given a talent, a skill, a service that is God given. You were given this. How dare you keep this from the world? He gave it to you for a reason. It's needed. And if you don't listen, you already know the story about the talents. He will take it from you and redistribute it to the ones that did do something with their
That's
talents.
right.
Even if you're scared, still do it. Still do it. Because guess what? You have 100% success rate of getting through stuff. Look back at your life and you're still here to tell about it. It's not going to stop until you do. How about that?
That's it. That's it. And Dr. Clark is the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, Cityscape Radio, the platform that we are broadcasting live on today. I saw you was in the thing. I don't know why you ain't just add yourself to the show.
I'm fine. I was listening in. It's good stuff.
Would you like to say a little word to the people as we roll?
A word on today, amen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thanks.
Yes, the closing remarks, please.
Good morning, everybody. Good show. I needed this today. Trailblazing absolutely is not easy. Ooh, child. My God. And I think especially during this time and just listening in to what everybody is talking about, now more than ever, each one of us needs to recognize and understand how important it is that we be trailblazers in everything that we're doing. Because there's so much that's happening right now that are impacting our communities.
Yeah.
And we need to be paying attention as it begins to trickle down, because it will. And we need to be paying attention now so that we are positioning ourselves to be the trailblazers that we need to be. Because if it's impacting them, you darn sure know it's headed this way. And we need to be prepared for that. I definitely wanted to put that in there. And yes, it is worth it. Why is it worth it? Number one, because as women, especially as Black women, we are constantly trailblazing. We are constantly coming up with ways to do better, to be more educated. That's why we the top 60%. Hello, amen.
Hello.
Yeah. And so I just wanted to just let you know I was listening in. I didn't want anything. I just wanted to pop in today, and listen in. That was all. I didn't. It wasn't. But every show that you do is amazing. So
Thank you.
and you are appreciated. You too, Shavonne, girl.
Thank you.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
So I'm gonna turn my mic off.
We appreciate you coming and dropping in anytime. You know, you're always welcome over here.
Yeah.
Over here. So, if there's one thing I want you guys to take away from today's conversation, I want you to realize your path may not be easy, but your purpose will always make it work. Right? So, a huge thank you to our fabulous trailblazing guests, Tasha Wilson and Shavonne Moorer. Look, I think you guys are very much proof that when Black women win, we all win. Okay, I'm gonna be looking for them citations from Tasha. Okay, and her citations are she's in publications,
Okay.
right? You can send that over to. I mean, I like stuff.
Yes.
You could send some of the publications and things that you've written over to Sharonda and I. We like to know what the people are doing, right? Being a trailblazer isn't about seeking applause. It's not. It's about breaking chains. It's about opening doors. It's about clearing the path and creating new lanes where none existed before. I want you to know it's going to be hard. There are going to be days when you want to give the hell up. You're going to be exhausted. But this is so damn necessary, especially in this time when they are trying to take everything from us. We are the ones who have always made a way when there was none. We've always made something out of nothing. So I want you to keep pushing, keep showing up, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. Like Shavonne said, keep it pushing, keep it moving forward at all times. Okay? Say a prayer for yourself, for those around you, because this world is a better place when you're in it. You are making history. You are leaving a legacy. You're making your mark on this world, one bold move at a time. And I want you to always remember to wake up happy, sis. We will see you on Thursday. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Wake Up Happy Sis Show. Join us live every Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more joy, healing, and sisterhood.